New York voters could help level the playing field for nearly 60 small city school districts if they approve a ballot proposition in November. The proposal would amend the state constitution, which sets a debt limit of 5% of property values for small city school districts. A small city school district has less than 125,000 residents. According to the New York State Association of Small City School Districts, the 5% debt limit affects 57 school districts across the state, from Albany and Auburn to Utica and White Plains. Other school districts, whether in large cities or rural areas, are not subject to the same cap. A state law sets the debt limit at 10% for a vast majority of school districts in New York, but not for those in small cities. To abide by this cap, any construction projects in small city school districts must be spread out over several years, which can increase costs.
We wanted to get work done at Auburn Junior High School, but we hit that debt ceiling. So instead of getting the work done that we needed to the first year of the capital project, we had to push it off to the last phase of this capital project. So that really, when you're looking at doing safety upgrades and these type of upgrades, those things need to get done. And because this debt limit is set so low for us, it really hinders us on the work that we need to get done.
The debt limit was established in 1951 when voters approved a constitutional amendment. Lawmakers who support this change for small city school districts note that at the time of the amendment, these districts were also subject to real property tax limits set in the Constitution. However, New York voters removed the property tax limitations in 1985. With the property tax limits no longer in effect, legislators say the debt limit for small city school districts should be aligned with other districts in the state. In 2003, voters rejected a proposed amendment that would have ended the 5% debt limit for small city school districts. 2 decades later, there was another attempt to amend this constitutional requirement. To amend the state constitution, the state legislature must pass the bills in 2 successive sessions before the question is presented to voters. This process began in 2022 when the state legislature approved legislation proposing the amendment. The state legislature passed the bill again this year, setting the stage for the vote in November. If voters approve the amendment, the state legislature has already passed a bill to establish a 10% debt limit for small city school districts. The bill has been delivered to Governor Kathy Hochul for her review.
I don't think it was fair back 20 years ago to fail this. We're not asking for more. We're just asking to have the same playing field. So it's not like we're asking the state to change anything that gives us more money and other school districts less money. It just gets us back up. You know, we have a huge push, and you know Auburn, we have an executive director of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is part of that equity piece. And our children are just as important as any other children in the state. They deserve to be in a facility in buildings that are up to code and have the technology and have, you know, the proper structure built so we can keep enhancing our buildings versus having to keep putting it off for years because we can't borrow the money.